Hey, we are in this series called Life, Money, Hope. And I just want to preface this by saying that it's not what you think. We wanted to do a different type of series here, not just one. Like, I believe that churches for a long time, and even us included in that, and we always preached a lot on generosity and stuff like that and taught, and it's super important, and tithing and all that kind of stuff. But what I've come to realize is that it's not that people aren't generous. It's not that, especially this church, it's a generous church, and it's not that people are stingy as much as they are strapped. And so it's like, hey, you ever get frustrated? I get frustrated sometimes whenever I'm like, all right, well, if you hear the end result, like, oh, it's like, hey, look at me, I'm awesome, and I've got all this figured out, and you should be like me. Awesome, I want to be like you. Just tell me how to get there, because right now I don't need to know how the lifeboat is built. I just need one to get on. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me figure that out. And so today's message, like, I don't know if you've ever felt like it doesn't matter what you do in life, especially financially and stuff like that. You just need a way out. So today's message is a way out. And it's going to go beyond the aspect of money, though. It's just crazy. It's going to apply in so many aspects of your life. Our key, we have key couple verses for this out of Haggai. You say, I don't even know what Haggai is. It's a book in the Bible, and it really does exist. I'm not making it up. And it says this. So now this is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. We'll pause there for a second. Give careful thought, like to your ways, to your life. I think so many people just kind of float through life without even thinking about it. And if you do that, you'll end up in some bad spots. Matter of fact, if you do that, you'll end up in some of these spots. Maybe you feel this way, like I do oftentimes. You're not alone if you feel these ways. You've planted much, but you've harvested little. You eat, but you never seem to have enough. You drink, but never have your fill. You put on clothes, but you ain't warm. And then this one's some of y'all's life verse. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. It feels like that sometimes for some of us. I just make money. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't even know where it goes. It says this is what it repeats it again. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. You better think this one out. You better think it through. If this sounds familiar, it's simply because we need a new way of thinking. I think we've thought about, on a grander scale, I think we've thought about this whole religion thing wrong for so long, and we've gotten some stuff right, but we just really haven't grasped the whole Jesus thing fully, a lot of people. And we've had the wrong view on money for so long. And Billy Graham, arguably, not even really arguably, the greatest evangelist in the last century, hands down easy. He's famous for saying something here when it comes to money. He said this quote, it says, if a person gets his attitude right towards money, he gets all that straight, it will help him straighten out almost every other area in his life. And the reason and the more I thought about that, the more I come to understand how true it is. It takes an incredible deal of discipline. And it takes incredible thought and planning. And you plan the work the plan. And if you can get that discipline and mindset down in your own life, and Jesus even said that, he says money is the number one competitor for your heart. The Bible talks more about, 5 times more, matter of fact, about money than it does prayer. And prayer is important. But Jesus knew that money would be the number one competitor for your life, for your heart. It talks more about money in the Bible than it does heaven or hell combined. It's just incredible. The reason it does that is because it's such an important part. But if you can get the right thinking and you can get the right attitude towards money, almost every other area of your life will work out because you'll build in those disciplines and understand that this life's temporary and we're stewards and And if you understand that with your relationships and all this kind of stuff too, and ultimately at the end of the day, I mean, it gets really simple. It's so simple, it's stupid, right? It's not about you. And so, I could probably just leave you with that, and people are going to get saved, and we can go home. But we're going to dig into it because, anyways, hey, this message is going to help you get somewhere financially. It really is. But I believe this message is going to help you find freedom in almost every other area of your life as well. And if you think that as we go through this, because there's some people that honestly, all their relationships are right, all areas of their lives are right, especially their money, it's all right. Can I just tell you something? When you walked in and you received a set of talk notes, still take notes and save these. These notes that you'll take today, these are the ones you're going to want to dig out when the storm comes. Because can I tell you, a storm's coming? Especially if your skies are blue right now. One's on the horizon. This sucks. It's called life. Life is the most harsh four-letter word in our vocabulary. It is, because it happens. But we got to get over some of this wrong thinking. Let me give you an example of how our thinking's gotten wrong and how far removed we are just maybe a couple decades. Whenever I was younger, I never really personally experienced this myself. I see this word, it's archaic now, and every once in a while you can see this word pop up from place to place, and younger people truly really don't understand what it means and all this kind of stuff. But back in the day, if you couldn't afford it, not affording things is nothing new. Not being able to, I just want to go ahead and give you that. You're not alone. It's been going on since the beginning of time. But used to, if you couldn't afford something, you would just say, you know what, I can't afford that, but I really want that. And so, say it's say it's a new couch. You want a new couch, and this couch is going to cost you $1,000 or whatever. Say, I don't have $1,000. And so you go to the manager or the owner of the store or whatever, say, I don't have $1,000, but I really want that couch. I have $100, so I'm going to pay you $100 not to sell that couch to anybody else. Matter of fact, I want you to write that couch up in plastic and put it back in your warehouse. And then every time I get paid or whenever the month comes around or whatever, I'm going to take out whatever amount that I can afford to pay you, and I'm going to come here every month on a schedule, and I'm going to pay you until I get that couch paid off. And so what happens is you really work hard on that because you really have that out in front of you, and you're wanting that couch because this is the perfect couch, right? I mean, none have ever been as comfortable as this thing. You can't wait. And so you're saving for this, and you're putting money towards it, and then you get it paid off, and you know what? You get a brand new couch delivered to your house. And it's incredible. This word, though, we see it every once in a while. What's the word for that? Layaway? Yeah, that's not a trick question. It's called layaway. Some of you younger people are like, what's that? I've never heard of it. So we went from that mindset to that mindset's almost become extinct. Can I just tell you that? And we went to a mindset of consumer debt that says, you know what? I see a couch there. I can't afford it. I can't afford that couch at all. I've got $100, but I need to eat out. Oh, you'll give me store credit. Or like, hey, another credit card. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to end up paying for that couch anyways. You're like, I got to have it now. And so you get the couch to your house, and you're like, I love this couch for all 3 weeks, and you love it, but you're paying on it forever. But the difference is by the time you get it paid off, you don't even know what happened to the couch. You done sold that sucker on Craigslist for $15. Because your 4-year-old son peed on it enough times. You know what I'm saying? Or you own cats and everything you own is destroyed. And so we have lost by gratifying ourselves and having the wrong thinking towards money. Not only do we end up hurting ourselves financially in the end, it helps feed into this mentality that of more's never enough. Nobody really truly a whole lot understands what it's like to work for something anymore. I mean, because all you're working for is to pay off debt, and it doesn't matter if you pay off $1,000 worth of debt if you keep accumulating $1,200 in debt every time you do that. But we do this with cars, and we do it with new iPhones, and we do it with whatever it is out there. Maybe it's not a couch for you. Maybe it's something else. But anyways, you got to understand that that's how our thinking is. And by the time we pay off something, it's gone. Think about your car. It's rare that people ever pay off a car. They just keep trading it in. Something new. My payments are almost done. What am I going to do with all this extra money? I know I don't want to save it because I got holes in my purses. You know what I'm saying? So this message is going to help get you out of that thinking. But it's just about as much about life and hope as it is about money. And you'll need to, like I said, save these notes. So how did we get there? That's the question. How did we get there? And so we're going to go today and we're going to use the parable of the prodigal son to kind of get us there. It's going to be the vehicle that we choose to use to get us to the end of this message today. And prodigal son parable is found in Luke chapter 15. And I'll start off. It says that there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger son, he said to his father, listen to what he said to his father. He said, "Dad, I really wish you were dead." Isn't that what he's really saying? Dad, I wish you were dead. Dad, I understand that you have a blessing for me set off. I don't want the layaway plan. I don't want the hard work. I would rather have the money than have you. Give me what's mine now. So that's not what it says. That's exactly what it says. Father, give me my share of the estate. And you know what? It says that the dad did it. I think he was trying to teach his boy a lesson that it could only be taught the hard way. Yeah, I'm a knucklehead. No, thank you for not amening that. And I've rarely learned anything in my life other than the hard way. I think this boy was a knucklehead. And the dad just had to go, you know what? That's my special kid. There's a lesson in this. So he divided the property between the 2 sons. Not long after that, check this out. It's interesting how the story goes. Not long after that, the younger son got together all that he had. See, it wasn't that he just wanted to, all he wanted to do was like, oh, I'll be happier if I had that. We can enjoy this together. This wasn't long after that. He's like, see, it was taking him down a road that he never intended to go. He gathered up all that he had, and then he set off. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm done with you. Set off for a distant country. And there, he squandered his wealth in wild living. Or you could say meaningless living. Really. After he had spent everything. Because when you go down this road, you will spend everything. You'll never believe or dream in a million years that you were going to spend it all. One of these days, you're going to find yourself spent, though, in life. After he'd spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country. And he began to be in need. And so he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country who sent him into the field to feed pigs. Man, he longed to fill his stomach. Listen to how desperate he got. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. It says after he spent everything, there was a famine. Can I just take this as prophetic, take it however you want to take it in your life. There's a famine coming. If you spend your life foolishly living the whole time, there's a day of reckoning coming. People are freaking out. I don't know if you're watching the news or not. Don't watch the news, you'll freak out. This world's in rough shape, man. Boy. I've seen your all's Facebook feeds. Y'all are freaking out. You're tripping. People ask me, what do you think about this? You know what? Honestly, not to be weird about it, okay. What did you think was going to happen? How long, and this is what I would say to you, financially, maritally, our country, our world, how long did you think you were able to maintain this? There's always a tipping point, isn't there? And then you realize that once you reach a tipping point, you pour out everything that you have, and once you're empty, then the famine's going to come. And you're going to find yourself in a desperate spot. And I think our world, our country, the church Maybe you find yourself in a desperate spot. But you got to know one thing about famines is God allows famines. He sends them, actually. Famines, you kind of learn to love famines. God will use them, and then He'll use famines, and then we'll turn back to the way that we should have never left in the first place. So famines can be good. Once you find yourself doing it, here's the progression of how we got there. This guy found himself begging for pig food, and here's how it got there, and here's how you got there, and here's how I got there, and here's how we've gotten there. Here's the progression of all that. The first one, if you're taking notes, is we believe a lie. We believe a lie. You see, we have a real enemy. The only thing that he can truly do to harm you and to get you off your game is to tell you lies. He's the father of lies. That's all he knows how to do is to lie to you. The lie kind of goes like this. The grass is greener on the other side. All right, can I just be honest with you? Half the time, that's not true. But the other half the time, that's very much true. But what he doesn't tell you is how much higher the water bill is over there. And it's going to cost you way more than you were ever intending on paying. And you're going to go over there and be like, man, this grass grew crap. What happened? I didn't know. There was a study done. People asked thousands and thousands of people, what would they do for $10 million? And you're like, man, I'm glad they didn't ask me that. And they give them all these options. You know that 25% of them, what would you do for $10 million? 25% of them would abandon their entire family. Their entire family. That must be some rough Thanksgivings going on. You know what I'm saying? 23%, oh, it gets better. 23% of them would become a prostitute for a week or more. 16% would give up their American citizenship. 10% would withhold testimony, letting a murderer go free. 7% would kill a stranger. Some of you are like, sign me up. I don't even know the guy. I don't even know him. 10 million? This is on layaway. You don't get credit on this, Pay me. 3%, this is the craziest one. 3% would put their own children up for adoption. So, don't gasp. Some of y'all do that for free. You know what I'm saying? You're like, take them. Just take them. They're driving me nuts. It's just crazy. You know why I think all this kind of stuff? Here's the truth. People are self-absorbed. We're self-absorbed people. There's another word for self-absorbed. When you're absorbed in yourself, you think it's all about you. It's this word that the Bible uses, and you can trace everything, every little issue you've ever had in your life back to it. It's called pride. Pride. It's a seed that leads us down every wrong road that we've ever been on. Proverbs 16:18 says, pride goes before destruction. Think about that. Pride, it goes. If we possess it, we send it out, and it goes. And it goes right before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. See, I believe that if you know what causes it, then you'll know how to avoid it. You got to understand what the opposite of pride is humility. The very opposite of pride is humility. If you'll remain, listen, this is the trick and this is the secret to life. If you'll remain thankful for what you have, matter of fact, remain in such a posture, not only are you thankful for what you have, you can't believe that you have what you have. I didn't deserve this. And if you'll understand it, if you'll maintain a posture of humility, that will guard you from pride. And I don't really know anything else that will guard you from pride like that will. You got to have humility. If you realize that God's blessed you more than you deserve, then you'll be in pretty good shape. But if pride plays out, it'll lead to this, if you're taking notes. We engage in self-destructive behavior. Believe a lie, and then we engage in self-destructive behavior. This is the result of a lack of discipline. Life takes a lot of hard work to remain disciplined in all areas. It's just hard work. Hard work. You always, I don't know, I always heard the old timers tell me, marriage is a lot of hard work. Oh, whatever, we're in love. It's just hard work. You're not going to get financially stable or successful by accident either. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline. If you don't possess discipline in your life, and most people don't, can I just be honest with you, you're going to end up with what somebody else had planned for you instead of you planning it. You're going to end up down a road that you never wish you'd have went down. Here's how you can maybe gauge if you've ever been in this area. If you find yourself saying things like, I can't help myself. I deserve this. What harm could it do? That's the most dangerous one. What harm could it do? Because Proverbs 14:12 says that, hey, there's a way of life, and it looks harmless enough. But he says, look again, because it leads you straight to hell. Look again. That's what I would tell so many people. Look again. Seems harmless. Look again. You need to, if you want to avoid the hole, if you want to avoid the trap, if you want to avoid falling in, you need to gain discipline, priorities, and humility. Or it'll lead to the third thing. We isolate ourselves from those who can help. We isolate ourselves from those who can help. You know, why do we do that? It's because I promise you this. It's easier to wear a mask than it is to deal with the issue. It's easier for you to wear a mask right now than it is for you to deal with the issue. Why is it easier? Because you've been wearing it all your life. Some of you got a whole trunk full of masks. Whoop! Pastor's here, pulling out this mask. Some of you are mad right now. You're like, well, you're not mad, you're a little bewildered. You're like, how is he reading my mail this morning? Just masks. You know how I'm reading your mail? Because we're all in it together. You know what I'm saying? We're all jacked up people. I'm just trying to, it's not that we're not generous. We're strapped. We're strapped financially, we're strapped relationally, we're strapped in life. So we isolate, whenever we find ourselves like that, we isolate ourselves from those who can help. And if you find yourself saying these things, it means you're probably in this or getting ready to go into this. I don't owe you an explanation. Like when somebody steps in and tries to help, and you know that they can help you. I don't owe you an explanation. Or they don't understand me. Or I don't need them. Or I can do it on my own. I can do it on my own. Famous last words for so many people. I don't need your help. I got this. You don't understand me. Proverbs 18:1 says, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. So if you ignore that, then you go to the fourth one. We find ourselves in a dark place. Let's just be honest. I mean, some of us just walked in and you're in a dark place. And you hate it. Just like the prodigal. Just like the prodigal son. He found himself in a dark place. Kenzie and I, we've been in a dark place financially before. Bleak. Dark. It was rough. We got married, we were young, dumb, stupid, you know. We're in love. And we want all these things. We can have it all. We're going to have it all right now. And so we did have it all in the form of like 15 to 20 credit cards, you know. It's just, And so you get to a desperate spot and you're praying your guts out and you're all this kind of stuff. And, oh, God, just get us out of this and we won't do it again. And then another credit card offer shows up in the mail with even a higher limit and you're going, thank you, God, for answering my prayers. And you're like, I knew all the rest of them were for the devil, but this one's from you. Right? You do that when you go out to buy cars, don't you? Because you know how all car salesmen are, and there's probably salesmen in here that hate me, whatever. But they're all, like, all of them are going to hell, except for the one that God sent you. Right? And you didn't even know that you needed those heated steering wheels. And you didn't know that you needed 20-inch chrome rims. You didn't know that you needed all these options. Because you made up your mind, this is what I can afford. But man, this car salesman, straight from God's heavenly army, come straight down, floated down like a little angel to you, and told you, only for, it's another $240 some odd a month. And what's that at the end of your life? Okay. Just saying. Find yourself. You know what? Me and my wife, I'll say this, we eventually dug ourselves out of a hole. You know what? It really wasn't that hard. We had to get really disciplined and live simpler. By simpler, I mean within our means. If we want to live extravagantly, she needs to find another husband, that makes a lot more money than I do. And so, but we calmed down and we got stuff under control. And you know what? It took a long time. Years. Paying stuff off. But we did it. We made the hard decisions. And God's blessed us like crazy. Things get hard every once in a while now, and we just don't panic anymore because we're not underneath that pressure. You know what? We don't fight about really money. 62% of all marriages end in divorce over money. We don't fight about it anymore. We just took that one off the table. There's nothing to fight about. At least we can sleep at night. Some of you just can't sleep at night. It's easy to live life when you can breathe. Psalm 88:8 says, "You've made my friends to loathe me, and they have gone away. I'm in a trap with no way out." And so let me tell you what the way out is. If you feel this way, there's a way out. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord's near to those who are discouraged, and he sees those who have lost all hope." Some of you in this room, you just lost all hope. I just tell you, God sees you, and that's important, and that's good. That's good news. God's near to the brokenhearted. He's close to the brokenhearted. I've always read that. Used to, whenever I had a broken heart, I'm like, well, I have a broken heart. I don't feel like you're that close to me. You don't have to feel to, if you operate based off feelings, you're going to miss most of your life. I give it to you this way. Got 4 kids, awesome. Not going to put up any of them for adoption. We've already made that decision this morning, didn't we? Yeah, and so, listen, I love all 4 of them equally. I really do. I say I have favorites, but I just tell every one of them that. But listen, and I'm there for all of them, but when one of them is hurt, look, it's not that I don't love the other 3. I just run to the one that's hurt. The one who's crushed, who's broken, who's weeping, who says, "Dad, I need you. Dad, if you say, 'Dad, I need you,' I'm there. I'll knock you over. I'll punch you in the kneecap. I don't care." Hell couldn't stop me from getting to one of my hurt kids. That's the way your heavenly Father looks at you when you're hurt. He loves you all the time, but especially when you're hurting. Are you hurting? You know what you got to do? Just say, "Dad, I need you." He's close to the brokenhearted. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "All you need to remember is that God will never let you down, and he'll never let you be pushed past your limit." That's good, past your limit. Some of you feel pushed to your limit. This is good news, though. He ain't going to let you go past your limit. He'll always be there to help you come through it. Look, there's never a spot in life of no return. Financially, relationally, spiritually, some of you feel like you walked away from God one too many times. Honestly, you're just kind of going through the motions here, but you feel hopeless. Some of you feel that way with your spouse. We've just passed the spot of no return. There's never a spot of no return. But being hopeless is the absolute worst spot that you could ever dream up. Here's what I tell people that's hopeless. It just so happens I know a guy. And he does all sorts of cool things. But his specialty is raising dead things to life. That's his specialty. That's his, there's lots of stuff on the menu, but this is the chef's choice. This is his thing. This is what he does. This is what he's the best at. You got a dead situation, a hopeless situation in your life? You cry out to your heavenly Father. He's near to you. And he specializes in your situation. The prodigal son, out of time, you're stuck. Get back to it. It says this, when he came to his senses. Hey, let's all say that aloud together. When he came to his senses. It's like this, he woke up one day. Whew. Have you ever just woke up one day? Whoa! That's when everything hits you like, holy crap, I'm on the wrong path. Like you kind of knew it all along, but then you had like, whoo, came to my senses. He came to his senses. He opened his eyes. He said, oh my gosh, how many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death. I know what I'll do. I'm going to set out. And he comes up with a plan. It's great. I'm going to set out. I'm going to go back to my father. I'm going to say to him, and he comes up with this great speech. It's just an incredible speech, I think. Father, look, I've sinned against heaven and against you. Not only you, Dad, but against heaven. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Would you just make me like one of your hired men? It says, so he got up. This is important. And then he went to his father. But while he was still a long ways off, his father saw him. Some of y'all need to know that right now. While you're a long ways off, your father sees you. And was filled with compassion for him. So he ran to his son. He threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son said to him, he's going over the speech. I love this. Father, for I have, just crying, dry his tears. Father, look, I've sinned against heaven and against you, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. And you need to read the rest of that. It plays out like, the speech was really unnecessary. He got it right, the attitude, but the content was wrong. So here's what I tell you. Don't worry about you'll never, if you wait till you have all the content right in your life, you'll never have the right attitude about it. So he just got up and went. Somebody here today needs to realize that if you're without hope, that God sees you, and you just really needed to be seen. Here's the way out real quick. I'm not going to leave you without the way out. Here's the way out. A few steps here. First of all, you got to acknowledge where you really are. Acknowledge where you really are. Most of any battle you will ever fight is admitting that you're in one. Admitting it. Why is that so hard, though? Why is it so hard? We can't sleep at night, yet we have a hard time admitting it as to why. We all know, you know exactly what the problem is in your life. Just admitting it. You say to yourself, I can't do it. Let me just free you up for that real quick. Say, I can't do this. You know what? You have a heavenly Father that never expected you to. He knew that you'd never be able to do it. Look, we watch our children grow up. And we give them, as they grow through life, and we give them more and more choices and decisions to make. And the more decisions they make, the more mistakes they made. And you know what? And sometimes they just screw it up. And my kids screw up a lot of things, man. A lot of stuff. It's like their mom. No, I'm just kidding. They're like their dad. And so they come to me and they go, I'm just, I'll say, what's wrong? What happened? Tell me the truth. And then they'll sit there and we'll go round and round about this. And I'll just sit back and I'll go, no. I'm after one thing here. You're not going to be in more trouble. I always say, you're not going to be in trouble if you tell me the truth. All I'm after is the truth. It's all God's after. He just wants the truth. Just say that you need him. See, King David did this. He poured his guts out in Psalms 51. This is the psalm he wrote after he committed a murder and adultery. This is the psalm where he pours his guts out to God, and it starts off, have mercy on me, God. Surely, God, you desire the truth. Listen, all you got to do is tell the truth. Verse 5 and 6 of that, David says, look, God, I've been out of step with you for a long time. Some of you feel that way. been in the wrong since before I was born. I was in my mama's womb and I was screwing it up. But what you're after is the truth from the inside out. Then you need to go back and write this down. You need to read Psalm 32. I know it comes before Psalm 51, but this is what he wrote after Psalm 51. You know, he recounts of where he was at in his life. And he said, there was a time where I kept all this in and kept it hid from you, God. And my bones turned to powder. He says, but then I remember the day I let it all go to you. And it was like refreshing. And it was my sin was absolved and it disappeared and salvation was near to me. Some of you all just need to read that stuff because it's life. It's what happens. There's freedom in truth. And listen to me, that step one it's important. There is freedom in truth. It's important. But there's more steps to that, and it's really important as well. The second thing you need to do is develop a plan of attack. See, the prodigal son, he had a plan. He said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell my dad that I ain't worthy to be his son. I've sinned against not only him, but heaven. Proverbs 27:12 says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple, they keep going and they keep suffering from it. They keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again. Can I just tell you, well, you're hurting because you keep doing the same things over and over and over again. So what's the plan? What's your plan? Listen, here what we have here, if you just show up and your relationship with God corporately is just Sunday mornings at a church, you're missing it. It's important. It's great. I understand it's holy moments, and we had like 3 people get saved in here right before you all walked in. It was just great and incredible, and I come to love that. But this is why small groups are so important. I understand that our semester is drawing to an end, but we're starting another one up in a month or 2, and so small groups are so important. You need to run with people in your life. You hurting financially? We have financial groups. You should get involved with them. We have groups for married couples. We have groups for singles. We have groups just for men. We have groups just for women. We got a group for that. You need to run with people in your life that's going through the same things. Because it's one thing to admit where you're at, but you got to get around some people and say, I want to take off my mask. Is it okay? And I know you're scared and all that stuff. Because in a group, you will hear the 2 most important words you may ever hear in your life, and you'll hear me too. Hey, bro, I'm screwed up too. Sit down for a while. Let's talk about it. And you got to do it. He says you got to run with people that won't leave you when things are hard, because things are hard. He says, sit down. I love you too much. Groups are where love wins. You got to run with people that love you. You got to run with people that love you. They'll love you too much to let you go without a plan any longer. And they'll help you get a plan and help you get back on track. And it's great. Hey, before you get out of here, let me give you one. I don't want to leave a financial message without giving you a piece of really good financial advice. Hey, this week, Black Friday's coming. Don't do it. Whatever. Say I don't like the way that sounds. I don't care. I don't like the way it sounds either, you know. But look, don't overspend. Don't overspend. You want to have money left at the end of the day? Don't spend it all. Don't overspend. All right, how about that? Cool. Glad we got that. It's Dave Ramsey has this famous thing. He says that debt's bad. You ever heard that? Debt's bad, saving's good. Yeah, debt's bad, saving's good, giving's fun, and stuff is meaningless. If you can get those 4 things down and you learn that and you live it, you're going to find yourself in a happier place. There's happiness in that plan. The third thing you got to do is do it now. Do it now. The prodigal got up. He said he wasn't just making a plan. He got up. You got to do it now because 2 Corinthians 6:2 says, I tell you, now's the time of God's favor. Now's the day of salvation. Now's the day of salvation. There's a now moment for you in your life. There's a now moment for you. And when that now moment comes by, you need to seize that. You have to seize that. For some of you, it's to seize on to God's love and His mercy and His forgiveness here in a little bit, because we're all getting ready to pray together. But whatever that is, whether it's financially in your life or relationally in your life, there's going to be a now moment. And when that now moment comes by, you got to grab it. fourth thing that you need to do is humbly ask your Father for help. Humbly ask your Father for help. This is why this is important, because humility will put you back into the favor of God. You want to know how the favor of God works? You understand that God's favor is just on some people and not on others? You want to know how that works? Humility. Just works. Just does. 1 Peter 5:5-7 says, God opposes the proud. You ever feel like you're being opposed? But he shows favor to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. I'll leave you with this. You, me, we will be humbled. Oh, you're going to be humbled. There's two ways that you can go about being humbled. One's through humility. The other's through humiliation. I've been down both roads. A bunch. I'm a pro at it. Can I just tell you, having been down both roads plenty of times? Take the humility one. Because some of you just need God's favor restored to your life. You just need that. You need to stop being opposed. You just need that. You're going to be humbled. Let me tell you this. One day, we hear that one day every knee will bow, every tongue's going to confess. And that's true. Let me just go a little further. One day, you'll realize that his way was always better. In every area. That's what that means. Humility or humiliation? And that choice, my friends, is yours and yours alone to make. Let me pray for you.